Welcome back to the Game Junkies podcast, everyone. The podcast which brings you all the latest gaming news, releases, and content. As always, I am your host, Chris, and as always as well, I am joined with my co-host, Jack.
As always. Hello.
Hello. Always. But not. Hopefully this will be not as an always and tell me something different.
Because you want me gone.
How your week has been. Please tell me something different.
It's always eventful. I'm
Is
always
it
doing
eventful?
Yeah, so many exciting things. No, I've been mainly rearranging and tidying up my studio. And when I say studio, I mean shed at the back of the garden. That's my main area.
It doesn't matter. Studio's a studio, right?
Yeah, it's my own private space. You know,
Great.
It's all for me.
Great.
Which is nice. How about you? Any exciting news?
I mean, we've got a lot to cover today in terms of what's happened with the DC Fandome. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have witnessed that. We've got stuff from leaked Avengers characters to the latest Suicide Squad game. So we've got a lot to cover this week. So that's what I've just been sort of focusing on this week is the latest gaming news.
Anything socially? How's work going?
Social,
Tell me about your problems.
I'm just sat here. It's like a therapy session every 10 minutes before the actual podcast starts. Before we get into the news, like, so lie on this chair for me and tell me your problems and how you have been. It's like, well, work's getting a bit of a drag and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
No, but it's just been, going through the motions 9 to 5, feel a bit like Dolly Parton, working 9 till 5.
Okay.
But
what a reference.
Great reference, right? Pop culture reference.
Sure. Go with that.
But yeah, I guess we should just go straight into it, right? Because we've got a lot of news to cover, so I think we should just go straight into the first segment. Yeah, so can you start us off with the segment intermission, please?
For news.
Okay.
Oh, that was very aggressive.
The build that was very aggressive. I was shouting
at you.
It's always a massive build up to it. Okay. So this comes from Eurogamer. Data miner Robomatters, what a great name, dug up this list from within the beta's executable file in the new latest Marvel's Avengers game. And each is named with the unlock playable character underscore prefix. Sorry. The full list includes, right, Ant-Man, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Falcon, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, Marvel.
Oh, come on.
Mockingbird, Quake, Scarlet Witch, She-Hulk, Vision, War Machine, Wasp, and Winter Soldier. Whoa, I need to get a glass of water after that because that was...
My favourite one is Marvel. What a great name. So,
Marvel, I don't know if you remember this. Marvel is the... If you've seen Captain Marvel, right, the film?
Yes.
The, I guess, mother figure for Captain Marvel, so the one who's got like superpowers who landed there and then gave her her powers.
I think I remember that part. Yeah,
I believe that's who Marvel is because I had no clue.
I'm sorry, but that is the most uninspired and original name I could possibly think of.
So
for a Marvel character,
this list seems pretty accurate to me. These characters seem like it makes sense to put them in the game because they're all massive Avengers characters. Is there any one which stands out to you which you think, I'd love to have that one first,
out of this list, I reckon,
It's hard to look at.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye's going to be the first one anyway. Come on, I love Hawkeye of all of them.
No, it's not. Oh, here's the thing. I don't love Hawkeye. It's just the fact that they had the 5 of the original 6 Avengers from the films, and they missed Hawkeye out for some reason.
Okay, well,
and I'm just my disservice to Hawkeye. What's going on?
We know Hawkeye's coming. Okay,
so
guys. Besides Hawkeye, which one would you like to be 100% accurate and true, and want it to be?
Ant-Man would be fun.
Ant-Man would be fun. I imagine they could do a lot with that.
I'm curious how much detail you could have when you're shrinking down to such a small size or a huge size.
Yeah.
Like, especially when... Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, well, we do the same. Well, we do similar things, don't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, shrinking down to that kind of size, I'm curious how much detail there'll be. Maybe you can zoom in on the detail of the characters and the environments you're fighting in. That'd be pretty interesting.
That would be really fun. I mean, I imagine that
just to show off graphics, maybe.
Yeah, I imagine that would be like a sort of, ultimate ability. But I can imagine, Doctor Strange being really fun to play as Vision, if they do it really well.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch is going to be really fun, I imagine,
Who is Quake?
Quake, I believe, is a agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I could be wrong.
Okay.
but
Does
I
she do
believe
anything?
she's like an
She?
agent. It's a she. It's a she.
Sorry.
And from what I gathered, right, I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying this, but from what I gathered, she's basically Black Widow, but not as good. That's what I think. Anyway,
Oof! All the Quake fanboys are gonna knock on your door in a sec.
Fanboys, fangirls kicking off of me. But again, like a lot of these characters, what I don't understand is, you've got stuff like She-Hulk. Surely that's just going to play the same way as the Hulk, but just She-Hulk. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I
surely
guess. I mean, maybe. Well, I guess there'll be different skins.
Yeah, I mean, same with War
Cosmetic
Machine.
differences.
War Machine's going to play the same as Iron Man in some ways,
Yeah,
right?
yes, that's true. I mean, War Machine has a bit more of a bulkier kind of presence. Like he has a bulkier armor, and like he literally just has like loads of guns attached to him, like loads of turrets attached to him. So I guess it's just like mayhem, rather than like Iron Man's more precise killings.
But if this is true, I am hyped for it. I think this is amazing lineup,
Oh yeah,
definitely. I think this is a really good lineup.
Who would be your first? You asked me which one. Who would you choose first? Who would you be excited to play?
I'm excited to play like ones, maybe like Doctor Strange, just because
more of like the magical kind of.
Yeah, to see how Black Panther would be a really interesting one as well, to see how they do that.
Yeah.
But I think probably maybe Scarlet Witch, Vision, Doctor Strange. I think that it depends how they do them.
Sure.
Will depend on how well they are. But I think one of them would probably be one of my go-to.
They'll be very
ones at the
powerful,
start.
I imagine.
But the Marvel Universe is just so big, they can just carry on going with the amount of characters they add to the game, right?
Here's one character I want to see. I want to see Squirrel Girl. That's what I want to see.
Squirrel Girl? I've never heard of Squirrel Girl.
I don't know what her abilities are. She just acts like a squirrel, I guess. Controls an army of squirrels? I have no idea what she does. I just know the name.
Interesting.
Apparently, she took down Thanos in the comics.
With squirrels?
Squirrel Girl. I don't know.
With squirrels, right?
I've just heard the rumors.
We need more information to go on, yeah. Because if she took down Thanos with squirrels, this is I mean,
an end game means nothing.
Was just nothing. So yeah, I guess on to the next one. So do you want to take this next news story?
Yep, sure. This comes from IGN. Crisis Remastered will now arrive on PC via Epic Games Store, Epic Xbox One, and PS4 on September 18th. A press release shows a number of visual additions, including high-quality textures up to 8K, HDR support, temporal anti-aliasing, screen space directional occlusion, global illumination, state-of-the-art depth fields, new light settings, motion blur, parallax occlusion mapping, screen space reflections and shadows, as well as new and updated particle effects and more. Right, okay, give me your opinion so I can just sit back for a moment.
To be honest with you, I don't know what 90% of those things are.
No, that's true.
But
it's just going to look nice, basically.
It's going to look nice, basically.
That's all it's saying.
What I get from that is it sounds like it's going to take advantage of the next-gen features and, what it can do.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we were all pretty disappointed with the leaked Crisis remastered footage.
Yeah.
If it was accurate, a lot of people were disappointed in that.
Really? There's claims that it wasn't, it was staged. This is fake, everyone.
Oh, it's all part of the plan. But for me, in terms of what they've sort of listed there, it just, it sounds like it's amped up, and that's what a remaster does.
That's what we need for a remaster, yeah.
I mean, personally, I am excited for it. Do
you think you'll get it first day?
I don't think I'll get it first day. I think I'll wait a little bit. But Crisis
What will you get it on?
PlayStation 4.
Okay.
Because it
Not
looks
PC?
like problem. I don't think I'd be able to handle it because my
your
old
PC
could handle the old one, but it won't be able to handle the new one.
Okay, sure.
I mean, I'm excited for it, but again, it's one of them games where I'm like, I'm not going to lose sleep over. That's my analogy for all these games now. Have you noticed? I just say I'm not going to lose sleep over that.
You won't lose sleep over it, but you'll get it eventually.
But I'll get it eventually.
It's not one of my main games. I wouldn't say I'm like a fanboy of it. It's a good game. It's a good series, Crisis, but I won't get it first day.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably my favorite Crisis game. I loved it when I was. Yeah, I loved it. I don't think I ever completed it because I was a bit younger then, and I just sort of played a game just to go crazy.
And you had school work
and I
to
had
do.
school. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's nice that it's actually now been officially, set.
I mean, I was surprised that they only released on Switch first. Nintendo
Yeah, that was
Switch first.
interesting.
That was a strange direction they went in. I don't know why though.
Maybe purely because I guess you can get away with having less, like not as
Give
not as
Nintendo
good
Switch
graphics.
the worst version.
Yeah, but you can
Give
get
them that
away
first.
with
We'll work on a better one.
you can get away with giving them not as good graphics purely because they just you don't expect them to have 8K resolution on a Switch, do you? You don't expect it to be.
I suppose not, but
top of the range,
you get good graphics in there. All the latest games
yeah.
look really good.
I mean, they're all great, but you don't expect because it's a small little handheld. You don't expect PlayStation 5 in there.
No, but the
otherwise
thing is as
everyone
well,
would be handled.
it attaches to you can show it off on the TV, so it's not like you only see it on the small screen. It goes on the big screen.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I just thrown your opinion away.
Just throw it away. So this is a big one to me. This is probably the highlight of the news for me. This one I am looking forward to. And this is going to be a big mouthful to say. Okay, so
I can't wait.
During the DC Fandome, okay, that was yesterday, I believe, or the day before.
Is it Fandom or
over the weekend.
Fandome?
Fandome. I just say Fandome. It's probably Dome because it has an E on the end, right? But I do what I want. I don't abide by the English
School
language,
the rules.
apparently. They revealed a lot in this DC Fandome, right? It was it was huge. But the one which highlighted to me was the Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. Okay, so this comes from IGN. Revealed during the game's DC Fandome panel, the first trailer revealed the Suicide Squad roster, which includes Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, and King Shark. As the name implies, and as revealed in the first trailer, Superman has become evil or something,
Yeah.
and the Suicide Squad is tasked with killing the Justice League. So I'm just going to put a pause there, because I think we should break it down in stages.
Sure.
Okay? What's your thoughts on the roster that they've showed for the Suicide Squad?
It's a good one. I liked
really
their dynamic in the trailer. It was a good dynamic. It shows that they've been through a bit and they have good chemistry with each other. King Shark, I've never seen King Shark before.
Yeah.
I've never heard of King Shark, so that was like I was expecting Killer Croc because of the film that came out, but so it's just seeing this huge, massive shark speaking English kind of threw me off a bit.
You're like, what's going on here?
Exactly,
And
it was pretty cool though.
Harley Quinn, I just love her attitude. She's just so carefree and just
this isn't important.
Captain Boomerang seems really fun.
I enjoyed.
He was
my
really
favourite.
Fun character.
Yeah,
Deadshot seems like a serious guy. He seems a bit more serious compared to all the rest. But he seems like I mean, probably my go-to one if I was to look at them right now and go, which one would I play the most as, just based on which one I prefer the most. I'd probably say maybe Deadshot. I'd probably go for would probably be my sort of play style. I imagine that would be my play style because you see in the trailer that he has jetpacks, which is pretty cool.
He can fly around and he can shoot. That's pretty cool. I think my go-to would be Boomerang because he flies a boomerang and then he teleports or something, or he moves really quickly to catch it again.
So the next part of what I just said is Superman becoming evil. So what you see in the trailer right at the end, you see him holding someone and they're like, oh, he saved the guy from the helicopter, and he just
murdered him in cold blood.
Disintegrates him, or I guess that's the best way to call it. He just disintegrates him and he just looks at the what's it called, I was going to say Justice League then, the Suicide Squad, and they go, well, who's our target? And they all go,
points
I guess
at
it's him. So, what's going on here? Do you think? What do you think is going on here? What is your?
I mean, so I assume the main bad guy is what's his name? Brainiac, right?
Yeah. So we'll go into this. Maybe.
Well, I assume he's under some form of mind control of sorts.
That would
like
make
his
sense.
eyes look like the other enemies that the Suicide Squad were killing in that trailer. Like he had those purple eyes,
and
so that's quite.
They're screwed.
Oh yeah. The thing is, I had the same reaction to them. I saw I was like part of their crew. I was like looking at him. It's like, oh, it's Superman. Okay, that's pretty cool. Then he killed him. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh. The best thing though was when Boomerang's boomerang hit him in the head, and he goes, "Shit, I shouldn't have done that." He's like, "I shouldn't have done that." It's like, yeah, probably shouldn't have done that.
Probably not. So that was good.
So let's just carry on with. So the plot of the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, follows closely to the plot of the Suicide Squad comic books, which is good. We all like to, everyone
source
likes
material.
to go back to the comic books. The DC Universe's notorious villains are contracted by the government to form Task Force X and carry out missions in exchange for a full pardon. In this case, the villains get an extra benefit of killing the Justice League, who probably is the reason. So, I mean, just for that, I mean, they're probably all. It's not just Superman that's gone crazy, right? It's probably all of them.
That would be that would be a cool premise.
So, plus, as a suggested, Brainiac is involved because obviously you can see his massive ship in the
skull
background
floating above the city. Yeah.
So he's probably involved, and as it says here, is probably the reason why the Justice League is suddenly just gone bad. Because
that would be imagine living in that world where all the good guys are just I guess they're villains now.
I mean, the thing is that my problem is with this, right? Is the Justice League was formed to take out villains that are just so overpowered, stuff like Darkseid and villains that are just so ridiculously powerful that they can't, they have to form, obviously the Justice League, right?
Yeah, sure.
So how are the Suicide Squad going to go up against them?
No chance.
When most of them are human.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
no
it's I mean, unless half of the, Justice League is, I don't know how it's going to work,
The only way I can see it working is that each of the members of the Justice League are on their own, and the group have to take them down one by one, and maybe they join them and they take on the rest of the, hypnotized.
Brainiac isn't
members.
a big villain. What do you think about that? What's your thoughts on Brainiac?
It's okay, but I just the last big DC game was Injustice 2, and he was the main villain in that.
Yeah.
So I was hoping maybe they'd bring up another evil spaceman taking over the world rather than him again.
It seems a bit.
I mean, he's cool, but
I feel like he's not. I feel like he's not the main focus, though. I feel like the main focus will be the Justice League.
Yeah,
that's what I feel like.
He just happens to be taking over the world and taking over the Justice League. Yeah.
Yeah. So Rocksteady appeared during the stream to share some additional details, including the gameplay, which will include Rocksteady's superhero, supervillain empowerment from the Arkham games, plus gunplay, as these villains are more, armed, like Deadshot. It's set in an open-world metropolis. Each character has their own unique movesets with enhanced transversal abilities to freely explore the dynamic open world of Metropolis, along with a variety of weapons to customize and skills to master. Can we just be impressed about how well I handled that sentence?
Well done.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to finish the last bit and then we'll just go over the last bit we just discussed. So, Suicide Squad will also be a 1 to 4 player experience. Rocksteady says it'll be a completely playable in single player, with bots filling the role of other 3 characters, all load in with 3 friends as a full 4-player squad. So,
that's good. I'm glad they give you the option.
First of all, I want to just address the fact that Rocksteady are bringing back their classic combat, which changed the whole superhero video game world forever, right? Batman games have been incredible. I think we can all agree that.
Sure.
The Batman games they set the tone for how hero games should be, correct?
Yeah,
I've loved them. The combat's amazing. It feels, free flowing. It's natural. It doesn't feel hard or janky. It feels nice.
I agree with that.
And I'm glad that they're bringing that back. It will be interesting how they do that with guns, because obviously Batman doesn't use guns at all.
Nope.
So it'll be interesting to see how they do incorporate what they've done, because it's purely at the moment in the Arkham games, it's purely fist fighting and free flow combat.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'll be interesting to see how
I can't see how. I don't know. It's strange to think about, let's say, what's the shark guy called? Is it King Shark?
King Shark. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to imagine. So imagine you playing as Batman in one of the Arkham games. Him taking on 10 people just by flipping around, locking onto people, punching people, dodging and weaving.
Yeah.
And then replace that with a human, massive, just bulking shark man.
Definitely.
Wouldn't that that would throw me off?
It'd be weird, but I'm
curious how they do it.
It's it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's set in an open world metropolis, which is again really cool. They didn't really the Arkham games weren't really open world. I think the last one sort of was, but I wouldn't.
You were able to explore a large map, but I wouldn't say I wouldn't call it an open world game.
I wouldn't say it's an open world, and obviously they all have their own unique ways of traversing the open world. So I guess Deadshot will be able to use a jetpack. King Shark will go in the ocean. Harley Quinn will fly around. I don't know. Captain Boomerang will throw his boomerangs everywhere and just teleport.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm looking forward to that gameplay the most. I think.
Yeah,
Boomerang. I think he looked pretty cool in the trailer.
From what it sounds like to me, it kind of has that Marvel Avengers vibe from, like the games where you're up to 1 to 4 players and you choose which character you want to play and you build that character up.
I like the idea of you have a choice. You can play as a friend, or you can play it on your own with AI supporting. You're playing the supportive roles. Definitely. So I'm glad they give you a choice.
And, I imagine Metropolis is going to be amazing because Metropolis is very similar. Well, it's kind of like the lighter side of Gotham, I want to compare it to, because it's where Superman.
Yeah, that's Superman's home.
But I imagine it is the lighter side of Metropolis. It'll be interesting because this Rocksteady's game, this one does follow on or is in the same universe as the Arkham games, right? So if the Joker was in it, for example, which I don't think he will be, but they may surprise us. I don't know. They may surprise us.
You could have a little,
if the Joker's, if the Joker's going to be in it, it's going to be the ones from, the Arkham games. But again, Joker's dead in the Arkham universe.
Is this a prequel?
So is Batman. No, it's meant to follow on the events. Apparently,
it's meant to.
It's meant to follow on.
If that's the case, then I guess killing the Justice League. I guess Batman. Well, he isn't there. Is
he? So Batman supposedly is quote unquote dead. I'm
shocked.
Spoilers. It makes sense that it'd be after the events of Arkham because Harley is no longer trying to go after Batman for killing the Joker, or she's not attached to the Joker in any way. She's doing her own thing now. She's sort of moving on. She's she's doing this, for example. But it'll be interesting to see how they do it, how they do the whole story with Brainiac and the Justice League, and how are these characters going to be able to be powerful enough to take on the Justice League? How are they going to do that?
Do you can you see this as being, because the Arkham games, I see them as like dark and gritty, that kind of style. I didn't really get that from this trailer.
No, this one seems a bit more fun, doesn't it? It feels a bit more jokey and laughable, and it seems more.
Is that? Like, do you think that's the vibe the game is going to go for?
Yeah, I think it's going to be I think you'll have this moment, where you go, oh, actually, this is very serious. Kind of like what happened in the trailer. So you see Superman, you're like, yeah, this is amazing, this is funny.
And then he just
kills it just turns, and you're just like, actually, this is getting a bit dark now. But I have a lot of faith in Rocksteady. I am so excited because the last game they did was obviously Batman.
Have you been disappointed by any of their games? Specifically the Batman games?
Not one. I mean, people will argue that the last one wasn't as good because they went for a more open world approach, but personally I loved it. I thought it was amazing. The story wasn't as good as the other two. I will give it that, or the other two.
But you wouldn't call it a bad game, right?
But I wouldn't call it bad at all. Like, I loved them all. It's, it was probably, is my least favourite, but
it doesn't mean it's still
bad.
A good game to you.
And, I sense that they've been working on this for a long time because I think the Batman game came out in like 2015.
It was a few years ago, wasn't it? And when's this coming out? Isn't it like it's like a couple of years?
2021, yeah, 2021.
I thought it was 2022.
Oh, it might be 2022.
I'm not sure. It's one of the two, but we have a little bit to go.
So I have faith in it. I'm excited. I love Suicide Squad. It's an interesting set of characters that they can use and play with. What about you? Does this sort of shout us?
It looks interesting. I mean, do you think this is the roster now? Those 4 characters. Do you think there'll be, because there were more members of the squad, wouldn't there?
I think they'll either reveal more characters closer to the time, or it'll be like an Avengers situation where they give a free update where they give a new character. I think it may be like that situation. It depends how long they want to keep this going on. It depends what sort of game they want to. Is it just a story-driven game? You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it sounds like, so what we said last time we were talking about the Suicide Squad was, I said to you, are we just doing missions where it's just Harley Quinn, or vice versa? But it looks like you can be wherever you want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you can just switch out characters whichever way you want, which is fun because you're not.
That's great.
You're not stuck to one character. But I, for one, personally, I'm just so excited for it. I think it's amazing. Imagine it's just going to be eating people's heads off with.
It's hyped.
King Shark, yeah, I'm hyped for it.
King Shark is going to be the most interesting one. I just never seen him before, so he looked quite fun.
So I guess on to the next big reveal at the DC Fandome. Do you want to take this one?
Right. I mean, okay, you can leave this to me. It's like the longest one, so I
I'll leave
appreciate
it to you. Passing the baton. On to you.
Well, okay. Here we go.
Here we go. Prep yourself.
Warner Brother Games, Montreal's Batman game, is officially announced, known as Gotham Knights, set for release in 2021 for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC.
Can I just stop you right there for a second?
Okay.
It's interesting that a 2021 release is going to be on PlayStation 4
I was
and
just
Xbox
going
One.
to mention that. I
Yeah,
agree with
that's
that. It's strange
interesting.
for PlayStation. Yeah, why are current gens being? I mean, that might give. Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing.
It's not
Do you think it's a bad?
I don't think it's bad. It's just interesting. Maybe clearly they've been working on current gen for a while.
Well, it might be. It might give hope to people who aren't particularly interested in buying a new console, knowing that there are still games coming out for this current gen.
Yeah,
You don't have to worry about money, I suppose.
yeah. Sorry, carry on. I just interrupted
okay.
you. Actually, no, I can interrupt you, right?
That's fine. You can if you
Sorry.
want. You're just ruining the flow.
Ruining the flow. You're off now. You don't know where you are.
I'm leaving, so you can take
Fine.
the rest of it.
I'll take the rest. Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Shown at DC Fandome, the game will feature 2-player online co-op, 5 boroughs of Gotham City for players to explore, the ability to drive around via the Bat Cycle, and an arsenal of combat and gear that will grow as the game progresses. The debut trailer opened with voiceover describing a disaster in Gotham City, with Bruce Wayne's body seemingly found in the rubble. Among the characters shown are Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and the Red Hood. Here's the official description of each character in the game, which teases some of the unique abilities each brings to the table. I mean, first of all, how I assume you're hyper aware of the characters I've just mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, they too. I mean, all the characters mentioned are Batman's, understudies.
Family.
They are their family. They are the next in line. They sort of all blend into one. I think the one thing to be clear about, which everyone was a bit unsure about, people thought this was going to be a Rocksteady game, but it's not. It's nothing to do with
Exactly.
Rocksteady.
I thought when I first watched it, I was thinking, hold on, how are they releasing Suicide Squad and Gotham Knights if they're part of the same, if they're made by the same game or things like that?
Yeah. So that's just one thing to say to cut off. It's nothing to do with Rocksteady.
This is what we do at Game Junkies. We debunk these myths. We only provide facts.
There was a lot of speculation, obviously, before it came up that this was going to be another game by Rocksteady, but that's not true. Suicide Squad, Rocksteady. This game is Warner Brother Game Montreal. Okay, just gonna put that out there. So I'm shutting it down before it gets anywhere.
Brilliant.
But it's interesting to see how Bruce Wayne, how he died. What killed him, because Batman can't die, right? He's got to be, he can't die.
He's only human, Chris.
But Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, expected all of them to be the Gotham Knights, as you say.
Do you think they've missed out a character?
Not that I can think of, really.
I don't. I'm just asking. I don't know them very well. So
I thought you were trying to trick me out then.
I was like, actually, here's a new character they just released 5 minutes ago.
Have you missed out a character, Chris? And I'm like, have I missed a sweating drench? No, Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and Red Hood are all the characters I imagined that they would have.
Okay.
I can't think of any.
Is there
off the top of my head.
a Bat Boy or like Batwoman?
There isn't Batboy. Well, Batgirl. I mean, you got Batgirl, right?
Yeah, but we have Batman. Is there Batwoman?
Probably my favorite. I think probably my favorite one out of the list they've shown it would probably either be Red Hood or I mean, the thing is with Batgirl, she's kind of just Batman, but not as good. She's not as trained as him.
That's very offensive.
It's just she's not as trained as him. She's pretty cool though. But
I like her
not
outfit
as
though.
trained
It's
as him.
it's very cartoony, isn't
It's
it?
cool.
It's
cool
just
how her
purple.
hair. Her hair comes out as well, so it's not like the
I
helmet
like her outfit's pretty cool.
Well, probably Nightwing is probably but I just don't care about Robin.
Come on!
I'm sorry,
he's like
but I just don't
the
care
main
about Robin.
sidekick, Robin.
Everyone
knows Robin.
Everyone knows Robin. Just doesn't get the credit he deserves. But
see, one thing I didn't like about Red Hood's design is that it just looked like Deadpool to me. He looked like Deadpool.
Deadpool
he had
or
the red
Deadshot?
mask. Deadpool, because he had the red
right.
mask, obviously, because he's Red Hood. But he also had like this black outlining around the eyes, and it just reminded me of how Deadpool's design looks. So I'm just like, oh, okay, maybe he's going to come up with some catchphrases or something.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Red Hood is very dark and sinister, so I don't think he would. I don't know. They're all dark. They're not really jokey. I'd say probably the jokiest one is probably Batgirl. You know, Robin's just nah. Robin's just
Robin's just
trying to be something he's not. Nightwing's
well, all the
Robin
loyalists, I don't think they're very pleased.
And Red Hood is just pretty cool. It's interesting. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Right, let me give you a description of some of the characters for the people who don't know. These, diehard fans of Batman, I suppose. So Batgirl, also known as Barbara Gordon, is a determined fighter and a skilled hacker. As the daughter of deceased Gotham Commissioner Jim Gordon, I didn't know he was dead. He died. It shows he died in the thing, didn't he?
Yes, he must be dead. Yeah.
She had helped Batman as Oracle in the past. Now, after years of recovery and preparation, she is ready to step into her new role, wielding her melee tonfa.
Tonfa?
Do you know what that is?
I guess it's like a melee tonfa. It's like
Brilliant.
a stick, I guess. I don't know, actually.
She just found a stick off the floor and she's fighting with that now.
Let's have a look.
Go on. Whilst you look, I'll finish off. Whilst you look. And harnessing her training in kickboxing, capoeira, and jiu-jitsu.
Capoeira, yeah. So, a tonfa is basically a police stick. You've got like a police stick.
Okay. So like a baton.
Yeah, so it's like
baton.
A police baton. I don't know why they said a what was it? A tonfa. I guess that's the official name for it.
I guess so. Yeah. Right. Nightwing. Nightwing is Dick Grayson, the first Robin, who was Batman's protege before becoming a hero in his own right. He's a natural leader and the eldest and wisest member of the Batman family. Nightwing's mastery in acrobatics is complemented by his expertise use of his signature dual Eskrima sticks, making him proficient at taking out enemies. How is everyone just using a stick?
I think it's just they, sometimes they can't walk, so they want to use it as support. I mean, do you know much about Nightwing? How he fights? He's got his two sort of electric sticks.
No, I only know him based off of the Injustice games because I played him a lot.
Yeah.
So he just walks around with two sticks and whacks people with them.
He's supposedly, this is probably going to get a lot of hate as well, but he's meant to be the darker Robin, so he's meant to be the more sinister version of, he wants to, he's a bit more brutal in how he deals with thugs and villains. Okay.
Right.
Does he kill? Sounds interesting. He doesn't kill it. I don't think so. But I think there was a whole thing in the comics that eventually, I think this is just a different storyline though, but he wanted to kill people because he was fed up of them getting away with all this stuff.
He's Batman letting them go.
Yeah.
Not killing them.
So, but yeah.
Right. Red Hood, formerly
My
known
favourite.
as Jason Todd, is an intense and volatile anti-hero. Okay. Which stems from his death and forced resurrection by one of Batman's most dangerous foes. Do you know who that foe is?
Joker.
Bit of trivia.
The Joker. From what I believe, right? Because I'm a massive Batman.
What
nerd,
you
right?
believe?
I love Batman games and stuff like that. Batman in general.
I couldn't tell.
But from what I can remember, basically Joker captures Jason Todd and tortures him. And really badly. I can't remember exactly, but I know it's pretty sinister.
Okay.
And Red Hood sort of, he turns into Red Hood because he was the former Robin. And he's so, I guess broken by what the Joker did, and he's the real I don't care. I will kill the villains because they are disgusting and horrible. I don't care about Batman's rule. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not against his idea.
I mean, you can kind of understand where he's coming from.
I don't blame the guy.
But, he's like, I don't care how I take him down, I'm taking him down, basically.
Okay.
And I kind of understand that. He's my favourite of the descendants of Batman, I would say. He's probably my favourite one, purely because of just how he looks.
Just because of the amount of stuff. Just because of how he looks.
No, how he looks. I mean, the looks, the amount of stuff he went through, just everything. He's just sort of, I don't know, he's just really brutal in how he does it. He's quite a unique character, you know.
Okay.
I like how he kills people. So I'm just like, I like how he does that.
That's not
Sinister.
concerning at all, Chris.
No, not at all.
I like how he murders people. That's fine. That's
but
normal.
He's very, yeah. I think he'd probably kick all the other ones' asses, to be honest. Here,
Really?
I think
you think
I
he'd
think
win?
he'd kick Robin.
You think he'd win in the fight if it was these four?
I think so. I do.
I mean, he does have guns.
This is an interesting thing.
people.
I've seen people in the comments, right, of the YouTube reveal trailer, and they were like, I bet Batman's saying, I hope those are BB guns or BB bullets and rubber bullets and stuff like
guns.
that.
I mean, you can have like airsoft. What's it called? Like
cap. Went off.
Is that the official term?
He has, like, I guess, rubber bullet. I don't think he does, though. I think he just kills people.
I think he just kills
people.
people.
I think he just kills people.
Yeah, I think it's just a gun.
I mean, I would say they've all fallen out with Batman. I mean, they all have clearly fallen out with Batman because they don't want to be, you know, the sidekick anymore. They want to be their own person. They don't want to be,
they don't want to be called
brainwashed,
Batman
I guess, by Batman. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, they can do their own methods, you know. If Red Hood wants to go killing people, you know, he has to. I mean,
I guess
Batman may disagree with it,
but you know what? He's dead. So
he's, he's dead. He can't do anything.
Batman.
Yeah.
Right, let me continue with description. Well, I mean, the description of Red Hood literally just sums up what you just said. Red Hood has trouble keeping his temper in check, but will not hesitate to step into the line of fire when a friend is threatened. That's nice. His training has given him peak human strength and proficiency in multiple combat techniques with all manner of weapons, both traditional and high-tech.
Yeah, so he like blends his martial arts skills with weapons.
Does he have a stick?
So no, he doesn't have a stick. He has guns. He has guns. So the way he does it is really cool. You see him in the games as well, in the comics. He just blends his. It's literally what it says it is. He blends his combat techniques with weapons. So it's really cool. It's hard to explain.
It sounds pretty cool. Just him flipping around and then just at the end of that cool movie just shoots the guy.
Yeah, he's basically a movie.
Like doing
he's
like
basically a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Robin is Tim Drake.
Boo,
sorry, Tim, but Chris doesn't like you.
Sorry, Robin.
The young prodigy and genius of the team, who is a master of deductive reasoning. As a true believer in Batman's mission, he is motivated by the conviction that Gotham City needs protecting and hopes to be the type of hero Batman personified. An expert fighter armed with his collapsible quarterstaff. So another stick.
Always
another stick. Another damn stick.
It's always sticks, man, because it's non-lethal, isn't it?
I mean, I'm sure you can kill a man with a stick.
I mean, I'm sure you could, but
I'm sure there's some ways
they're
kill
trained
a man
not
you
to.
You can sharpen
the
stick. There you go. It's now a spear.
True. I mean, I'm pretty sure electricity could bloody kill him with Nightwing sticks.
It's still a stick.
Yeah.
So he has a collapsible water staff.
Water staff.
He summons
He's an airbender.
Staff. Exactly.
He's an airbender.
His quarter.
Waterbender.
Okay, quarterstaff, and skilled in a variety of stealth techniques. Robin also possesses a background in combined psychological warfare and behavioural sciences. I mean, that just sounds like Batman, but younger. So how can you not like him?
Hey, don't compare Robin to Batman. But
he's described literally sounds like Batman, but younger. Has the same beliefs as Batman. He fights the same way Batman does. He's just a kid.
What do you think about this game overall? Like, I mean, in terms of the characters, which one stands out to you?
I mean, none of them stand out to me just because I don't know them very well.
Yeah.
Like, I know the names, but I don't know the backstories of each one.
Yeah.
I can only go based off the look of the trailer.
Yeah.
I think, I would agree though, Red Hood looks the most fun. It's just because he looks a bit silly, like flipping around and then shooting someone at the end. I just thought that looked quite fun.
Yeah.
What about the premise itself? Are you a fan of the premise? You know, Batman dead. They're off defending the streets of Gotham.
It sounds interesting. It sounds like a really fun co-op game. I mean, they did show gameplay of it. I don't know if you've seen that, but they did show gameplay of it.
Unfortunately,
where you're playing as Batgirl. It's like you can go watch it. It's like a 7-minute gameplay, and it looks like it's taken a lot from the Rocksteady games. So it looks like obviously it's had a lot of support from them because obviously they're both Warner Brothers, so they can sort of help each other out. So it looks like it has got a lot of inspiration from that game. And it is interesting to see, because I think you play as Batgirl and a little bit of Robin, I believe.
Okay.
It seems more like I said, it seems more like a co-op-y kind of game rather than a single-player game.
Okay. So do you think it's different to the Marvel and Suicide Squad game, like in terms of how you play with friends or on your own?
I would kind of say so. I mean, there's a lot of games coming out, if you've noticed, that are, well, especially with the superhero ones. You've got Marvel Avengers, you've got Suicide Squad, and you've got the Gotham Knights, which are all, games where you choose your own hero and build your, it's
I
like
know.
a co-op. It's
Very
really
convenient.
strange, isn't it? Yeah, it's like they're all coming out, in the same one. I don't think it was revealed if it was like an open world game, so that'll be interesting if it's an open world or just,
Do you think
specific
it would suit an open world rather than a linear game?
It's hard to say. I think maybe if you want to focus on the co-op, just do co-op missions.
Okay.
Maybe they both have.
Well, it didn't
their
say
strengths and
specifically
weaknesses.
that it was single player
No,
necessarily.
but
it did
I think it will
specify
be,
co-op.
And I believe in the trailer you see Mr. Freeze
Mr. Freeze
as the enemy, as one of the main villains. And
now, the only time I've ever seen Mr. Freeze was from the film with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
I've forgotten which specific Batman it was called. I've forgotten the name of the film itself, but
Forever.
it had
Batman
George
Forever,
Clooney as Batman.
And Poison Ivy and Uma Thurman.
Yeah,
and
then Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze with all his ice puns. I would do
that
it,
was,
but
that was great.
I can't do an accent.
It's great.
Can you do one?
No way. I couldn't.
Oh,
no
come
way.
on.
I could
one
not
of them's
do
one of them's get iced. Say get iced. Come on.
Get iced.
Excellent. See,
that's the best I could do. Maybe he's
not
actually
bad.
right behind me. He's actually right behind me. So.
Oh, right.
Yes, it's a bit
He's waving. He's waving to me.
Actually, he's waving like he's not going to speak in a podcast because
No, exactly. It costs too much money to have him actually.
Yeah,
speak.
terms and conditions. We had to pay him like
just to wave
£1,000 just for
the
that.
camera.
Just for that line, actually. So,
He's at your home in Wales.
He's just in my Wales. He was bored, wanted to come somewhere which nobody ever really goes.
Exactly. Game Junkies is officially endorsed by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
We'll get an email from him now saying, "Love it, love it,
love the episode, boys."
But I mean, I don't know. Does this stand out to you? Do you think this will be a game you'll get? I mean,
again, it's interesting because you brought up the fact that all these superhero games are coming out near the same time. They all have the same premise in terms of gameplay. Yeah. So kind of, I don't know. It doesn't stand out to me anymore.
The reason why it stands out to me is purely because I
think it's just because of the characters for you, isn't it?
It's the characters, but also the games are launching at different times. So Marvel Avengers are releasing in less than a month, I think in a couple of weeks' time. So I'm looking forward to that. Gotham Knights is releasing next year. Then Suicide Squad is 2022, I believe. So it's a year gap between them all. I'm okay with that, because by the time Gotham Knights comes out, I will be ready for another superhero game because I imagine I'll be done with Avengers,
Sure.
And then vice versa, same with Gotham Knights. I imagine by the time Suicide Squad comes out, I'll be done with Gotham Knights, and I can go from there.
In between, I suppose. Yeah,
if they were all coming out at the same time, that would be bad because
I think it would be hilarious, personally.
It would, it'd be crazy. You can't release games so similar. I mean, they're all going to have differences completely. They're not going to, but they have the same sort of fundamentals in terms of co-op. You get to choose your character and level that character up specifically.
Yeah.
But probably the one, if I had to choose between all three of them, probably Suicide Squad is the one which I would look forward to the most, purely because of Rocksteady behind it. Because I have a lot of faith in Rocksteady,
Yeah, who were the company that made making the Marvel
Square Enix and Eidos Montreal, I believe it is. So the people who did the new Tomb Raider series. They're the ones doing it.
I mean, they were okay.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just wait and see. I mean, I'm looking forward to all three of them. I think, these two specifically because we talked about Avengers, but these two, I think they look fun. I'm more drawn towards the Suicide Squad one. I know we didn't really see any gameplay, but I can imagine in my head what the gameplay will be like.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is.
So I guess I guess that concludes the news. That was crazy. That was.
What a journey.
Now we're gonna intermission into our next
Game of the
segment.
week.
Nice. So I've been playing Fall Guys. I'm pretty sure everyone has heard
Everyone's
of
played
Fall
Fall
Guys
Guys.
by now, and
Everyone's heard it, everyone's played it, most people like it.
I mean, for people who don't know what it is, it basically is a Takeshi's Castle / Wipeout kind of game. Is that the best way to describe it? Like a battle royale, which I disagree with people calling it a battle royale.
I called it a battle royale platformer, and you were like, nope, no, it's not that. I was like, yeah, I think it is. I think
disagree
it is.
with battle royale.
Fills that. Yeah, but I mean, you refer to battle royales as a shooter, looter kind of.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Sure.
It's still a battle royale in the premise that it's you versus all these people. You have one chance to like win.
But, I mean, if that's the case, though, battle royales aren't new. If you want to, there's been loads.
I'm
of
not
games
making that
where
claim. I'm just saying that.
Well,
I'm just saying that this game falls
right.
into that kind of category.
Ding, 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 ding.
Round one.
But a lot of people have been calling it battle royale, so I guess I'll just say it's a battle royale game. Where you do various. I think there's 5 levels where they randomly sort of chosen the levels on each stage, and you basically have to be the last one to get through the obstacle courses, the mini games they do. You've got different ones. Well, on all of them, each.
You need to win.
You need to win. That's what I mean. You need to be the last one
to qualify
alive, the first one to qualify.
Yeah.
So each stage. So for example, the first stage only 42 people can qualify. The second stage only 12 people can qualify. Third, vice versa. So it's a lot of fun. It's a game which personally I have gotten frustrated on. It's a game.
I can see.
It's a game that anyone can play. I don't think there's an age restriction on it, but it's a very infuriating game in the sense that if somebody's grabbing you or you're trying to do something and somebody nudges you and you fall over and you have no control, then you just going around like a rag doll. It's so frustrating. Yeah. Right? It's so frustrating. But
I guess
it's part of the
called
game.
Fall Guys for a reason.
Yeah, it's part of the game. I'm not mad at being mad, if that makes sense. I'm not.
So you expect it.
I expected to be mad at it because it's not meant to be just an easy game. It's meant to be a fun little. I'm mad that I get mad at it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because I feel like I shouldn't get mad at that game.
Yeah,
I mean, it's very rare I get mad at it. It's just occasionally I'll get really frustrated.
You getting mad? I've never seen that in my life.
Never happens. Not at games, especially.
I thought you're happy-go-lucky, aren't you?
I'm happy-go-lucky. I don't get mad at games. Games get mad at me because how good I am.
Because you're just too good.
Because I'm too good at them.
Okay, so they cheat to try and kill you, basically.
Can I just say though, I have won. Right.
Ooh,
how many games would you say I've won? Do you think? Right.
Well, how long have you played? How long have you played this game? Is it just this week?
About a week. Yeah, about a week.
It depends how much time you spend on it. See, if it's like a full game session.
Not loads, but
I think you've won. I'm going to say I'm going to be 3.
That's very generous.
That's very generous.
I mean, you should have gone higher. Why didn't you? I'm a little bit disappointed. You should have said at least 100.
Okay. How much did you win?
2. It was 2.
Okay.
I think I've won twice. Actually,
2's good.
Right. I think I've won twice. Yeah.
Okay.
I won on
bad, right?
I've won on the one where it's like a falling panel at the end. I don't know if you've seen that, where you got to be.
Yes.
It's like layers of falling panels.
Yeah, you have to try and
one.
stay. I'll try not to fall to the bottom. Yeah.
And I also won on the last one to have a tail. So you got to be the only one to have a tail.
Yes, I've seen that as well.
And I hate that one. I mean, there are aspects of the game that I like. It's a fun game. You can play with anyone. It's a nice, relaxing lunchtime game where you can play. When you break and just you don't have to worry about anything too much. There are levels which I like. There are levels which I hate. I mean, that's just the same with every game. Which ones do you hate? I hate the seesaw one, I believe it's called. So there's one where every pound seesaws, and if you're the last one in that, if you're behind when everyone's out in front, you're screwed because they're just so hard. I don't really like the tail one. I think the tail one's a bit, meh. It could be better.
Okay.
It's just basically tag, but with people in it.
It didn't look very, I don't know, inspired or revolutionary in some sense. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean the tail one's a bit meh. I mean the other ones I like. They're all pretty fun. Different obstacle courses. Have you seen much about this game? Do you think
I've seen
it's something...
gameplay of it,
Yeah.
but I don't know. When I think of it, I'm just thinking I'd rather play Gang Beasts.
Yeah, it's a
Gang
different
Beasts,
game
it's
to
just,
Gang Beasts, though.
I don't know. I think it has the same sort of premise where you play as these silly characters and you have these silly kind of playing mechanics and movement mechanics and Gang Beasts. It's just a simplified version of Gang Beasts. Like I feel like Gang Beasts, you have those same kind of mechanics, same kind of world, but you can do so much more. You can interact with the world so much more. It looked okay.
It's a lot of fun.
You know, I mean, if that's the case, what would you give it for?
The official Game Junkies review.
That's I love
Sunday
the
evening
contrast.
Talk. I would say probably I'd probably give it a good solid 8 out of 10.
Solid 8.
Solid 8 out of 10. Yeah. I
Okay.
think it has a lot of potential.
Okay. Well, what gives you 8 out of 10? Why not 10 out of 10? Where are those two missing?
Like I said, it doesn't feel like it's beefy enough for me yet, so it doesn't feel like it's got as much variety in levels.
Okay.
But again, that can be expanded on in the future.
Is there any news about them adding more maps or more characters?
I think they will, which will be interesting. But yeah, I mean, 8 out of 10. I think that's solid. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair
probably
enough.
Because I'm so angry at the game sometimes that I get
that's why you're giving it a lesser mark, because you're not good enough for it.
So, what have you been playing?
I have dived into Tabletop Simulator, which is, I mean, you play board games, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if you could play board games in the comfort of your own social
You're going to say home
room.
You can't play board games.
But this time you're playing it online.
Oh,
with
on
your
your
friends.
console. Wow.
No, well, it's on PC. It's
Oh.
So you get on Steam. It's like 15 quid, I think. So it's like a good
Right.
price for it. And
Okay.
it comes with the standard board games. You got Monopoly. You got your chess. You got
Right.
cards.
Yeah.
Checkers, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But what makes this game stand out is the Steam Workshop community, I think.
Right.
Because it just adds these hundreds of these proper board games that they've put together, and you can play them. So it's not just the standard, family, Monopoly, chess, Uno, that kind of thing. But you have all these, you have the video game board games. You have all these massive adventure, role-playing board games. You have these smaller, fun, monster battling board games.
Right.
There's a whole lot you can do.
What's your favorite board game to play on?
Well, one I played recently was what's it called? The Binding of Isaac.
Oh, that's not a board game.
Well, there's a board game based on the actual game.
What?
So it's
way.
So you have these
What?
you have these cards. So you have like a character each. I was Isaac for one, and then you have like a specialty card that lets you do a certain thing, like roll an extra dice or do more. And then you have these monsters you can deal damage to.
I need to
And
check
then
this
sometimes, you should have a look. And then when you kill them, you can earn a soul. And I think you have to earn. I think it's like 3 souls to win the game. And there's certain ways you could do it. Like you can earn money. Like you can have 25 gold to earn money. So 25 gold to earn a soul. You can kill monsters to earn a soul. You have cards that can steal souls from your opponents.
Crazy.
It's really fun. There's so many characters and so many there's like these artifact. I think there's artifact cards.
Yeah.
And just item cards that do various tasks. Like you can heal yourself, or you can deal more damage, or you can draw like loot cards. Or there's like a treasure card that lets you deal or like do bonus effects, and they're ongoing. It's not a very complicated game, but it's really fun. It's really replayable.
Yeah, that's good.
But
So
the thing is, it's hard to say because I'm more reviewing the platform rather than individual games because there are so many games you can go on.
It's hard to go on, yeah.
But the platform itself is really good. Like it's just if you enjoy a good game night, then you would really like this, I think.
So what is your official Game Junkies review?
I'll never go over your. Can I ask why you do your kind of smooth ASMR kind of approach.
I went with it, right, the first time we did it. I went with it,
And it's just stuck.
it's stuck now. So you got to stick to your guns, because otherwise I'm going to look like an idiot if I go to another one now, innit? So I just got to
Okay.
stick to it.
That's
Even if
fair
everybody
enough.
disagrees, you got to stick with it. Stick to your guns, people.
I think I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Ooh, that's strong.
I think it's a high rating just because of the amount of variety you can have, and there's so many games you can get. I think it's thanks to the workshop, this Steam Workshop. But I think every now and again there's like, it's a bit buggy every now and again. It might be due to like the quality, like a certain member of this workshop has made a certain game. They might it differs in quality sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the same standards every time. But I think 9 out of 10 is a respectable.
I think it's good, really good, nice.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Let's segment our way into the. Oh, I love this section.
This is your favourite, isn't it?
I love this section.
Well, this is the trivia round.
Nice. So can we just say? Yeah,
please explain. Explain to the audience.
So
what this
I
is.
always do a bad explanation of this. So each week, me and Jack will take it in turns to come up with quotes from video games, and the other person will have to guess what game it's from. Mm-hmm. Right? We give them 5 quotes, and it's out of 5. Do we have any rewards yet? No, but that's not the point. It's all about
all about the experience.
It's all about the what's the word
being
to get
involved.
Yeah, it's all about the pride.
You don't
winning.
you don't need a physical prize. The sense of achievement in yourself is enough, surely.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting one. Let's say So last week, I read the quotes to Jack, and
I had
got
4.5.
4.5, which is still a good score.
I was so
don't,
close.
Don't be disheartened. Still a good score.
Chris had a 5 out of 5.
I had 5 out of 5,
which
the
is the
last time
Game
I did
Junkie's
this.
first. So that was accomplishment.
Now I'm
moment.
up the top. I want to stay up the top. I don't want to
that's
get
the thing.
kicked down.
As soon as you get to the top, you need to
when
go
you're
back
the
to the
king,
bottom.
when you're the king and you get knocked down,
You might be dethroned.
You might be
Chris,
dethroned
by yourself.
So, okay, I'm ready.
Okay, here's.
How was that description, by the way? That was perfect, right?
I think it sums it up. I hope the audience understands. If you want to get involved,
No.
When I read out the quote, pause it, take your time, take a guess, see what Chris comes up with, and you can make fun of him if he gets it wrong.
Yeah,
that's what I
nice.
do.
That's what. Yeah, that's what you gotta do, right? Accept it.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 1.
Okay.
Negative. I have the gun. Good luck, sir.
Halo.
Okay.
Is that yes or no?
Any variation on that answer? I'm not going to give you any hints. If it's correct, it could be completely wrong. If you want a clue, I have 2 clues.
Yeah, give me a clue. Give me a clue, please, sir.
Okay, so the character that says it has been classed as hyper-lethal.
Hyper-lethal?
Hyper-lethal.
I don't know what that means.
Just means he's just a very powerful character, I suppose. Like deadly.
Like every game character?
That's not true.
Second clue?
The developers left the franchise after this game.
Yes, Halo. 3.
No.
Reach.
No,
reach.
You said 3.
Reach. I said reach.
Said
I changed
3.
my answer. I changed my answer. I said reach.
Your answer.
I said reach.
You can't change your answer.
I said
you
reach.
3. You said 3 first.
That's half a point then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Half a point.
Oh,
sure.
that's not fair. I said reach. I said reach.
Reach isn't a word. I'm afraid.
I said 3.
You said 3, and then you added reach at the end.
3. That's God. You're gonna do this to me on the first game one.
You
okay,
did this
fine.
to yourself, Chris.
Fine.
I'm afraid.
Fine.
I can see your hand is just like covering. Remember, you've always got the bonus quote if you get an extra full marks.
Next one.
Okay,
let's do it.
Number 2. They'll just find another monster. They have to, because they have to justify their wages.
Should I read into that quote?
I don't. What do you mean?
Do you have a hint?
I have 2 clues available for every
one clue.
This should push you in the right direction. This character always has a plan.
Second quote.
It has a zombie DLC.
What was the quote again, please?
They'll just find another monster. They have to, because they have to justify their wages.
I don't know.
It's all as if you're telling. I can see all the cogs in your brain moving.
I know. A zombie DLC.
A zombie DLC, and this character always has a plan.
Red Dead Redemption. That's my final answer.
You are correct.
Nice. Was it? Can I just guess who it was?
Sure.
What's his name?
I don't know. You tell me.
What was that? Oh, I know. That should have pushed me in the right direction because Red Dead Redemption 2. Got to play in Dutch. That's it. Dutch.
Which game? Sorry, which game are you referring to?
First one.
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah. It's because that's the one.
Because if you said Red Dead 2, I'd be like, oh no.
But Dutch is in Red Dead.
Yeah, he's in both. Right? It is Dutch van der Linde.
Nice. Okay.
So you got that one. I'm glad you got that one. I'm proud.
Yeah.
Like a father. I'm just like, oh, he got
well
it. He
done,
got this one.
son. Well done.
Okay.
McDonald's
this might be an interesting one.
You. Okay.
Number 3. Can I kill him now, master? I would like ever so much to crush his neck. Just a little. It's a long-time fantasy of mine.
Ooh, do I need to read into this one?
No, it's not me, if you're curious.
Okay. Hint? So he says master.
Okay, do you want me to say it again?
Yes, please. That was the long one.
Can I kill him now, master? I would like ever so much just to crush his neck. Just a little. It is a long-time fantasy of mine.
Same.
A bit sadistic.
Same.
Similar vibes.
Same.
Yeah, what a mood.
I can have to have a hint. Yeah, you need a clue for the first
It is a sci-fi RPG.
Another hint. You're going to have to have another hint.
Okay. It is set in the same universe of a film franchise.
Same universe as what was it? Sci-fi, you said?
A sci-fi RPG.
See, my first one that came to my head when you said that kind of was Mad Max, but that's not a sci-fi film.
You wouldn't class as a sci-fi.
It's in the same as a
set in the same universe of a film franchise.
Same universe of film franchise.
It's the same universe. Doesn't mean it's the same.
So
plot.
It was the game that came from the film, or the film came from the game?
The game universe is based on a film universe, or based in a film universe. So the film came first.
I'm gonna have to just throw it out there.
Sci-fi RPG.
Sci-fi RPG.
I can say the quote one more time if you need it, but I will have to rush you. After this quote, I'll give you 5 seconds.
Okay, one more time.
So think. Can I kill him now, master? I would like ever so much to crush his neck, just a little. It is a long-time fantasy of mine.
Am I gonna kick myself when I get it? Is it like quite obvious?
It can be. It's just I feel like I think you might have played this game. I don't know every game you've played, but I feel like I tried to aim these quotes around games that you might have played.
I don't know. That's the first time I'm gonna have to pass. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass. I have no idea.
This is the second time someone has passed.
No idea.
Okay. It is Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, I've never played that.
Oh, you've never played it.
I've never played that. No.
See, I'm trying to aim it towards games. Have you played any Star Wars games?
Only like Battlefront and Force Unleashed.
So like the not later ones, I suppose. That was like 2008,
ones.
wasn't it? Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never played that. I would never guess.
Damn.
That. Yeah,
well, it's apparently quite a famous quote from the game. It's by this droid called HK-47.
Interesting. Also a quote from me that I usually say on a daily basis.
Well, yeah. For the people listening, I was just making up those from Star Wars. It's actually Chris said it to me, so I'm a bit, sweating a bit. Okay, here's the next one. Here's number 4. So far you have 2.
0.5.
2 out of 5 so far.
Is it 2.5 or 2?
You got half marks. Well, you got half mark on the first one, and you got a point on the second one. So actually, it's 1.5 because you skipped number 3.
Right. Okay.
Here's number 4.
Okay.
From the first stirrings of life beneath water to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his first upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest. From this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars. I'm trying my best to embody the voices.
Spore.
I know it's a bit of a long one, but it's one of the main ones of this game.
Can you give me a hint, please?
It is a turn-based strategy game.
Can you give me another hint, please?
Here's the second clue. The narrator saying this has appeared in many films.
Spore.
No.
Because I was thinking, it's not really a
Spore.
turn-based game, though, is it?
Well, you used your answer.
I don't know what it is.
Civilization 6. It's the intro quote for when you start a game. And it's voiced by Sean Bean.
This has been a hard one.
It's one of the only... I
This
know.
has been hard.
I've tried... Because the thing is, you
Tough.
played Civ 6.
Yeah.
It's one of the only roles where he hasn't died in.
Damn. I've got that. Wow. 1.5 out of 4
1.5.
so far. Wow.
I was thinking
I
maybe
really
the Star
have
Wars
been
one...
dethroned.
Maybe
I
the
really
Star
have
Wars
been
one was a
dethroned.
bit... Because I was guessing if you played it or not. I thought Civ 6
Yeah.
might have got it, because it was
I
like one of
wouldn't
the main
have guessed
ones.
that either. Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Well, here's the fifth one. And you get a bonus question, so, you might be able to bump up the marks. Okay. So what does BB stand for anyway? Backstabbing bastard?
Hint?
You can slow down time.
Another
Or you
hint?
have the ability to slow down time in this franchise.
Another hint?
It's a third-person noir shooter.
I don't know. What was the quote again?
So what does BB stand for anyway? Backstabbing bastard?
I don't know. This has been a tough week. You've really dethroned me this week. You've given me a hard one because
I didn't mean to make you lose this confidence, Chris. I'm sorry.
Mass Effect.
You had 2 of the first letters correct, but no, it's not Mass Effect. It's Max Payne.
I've never played that. I've never played that.
It's like one of the. It's like one. It like Star Wars. It's like one of the most recognizable quotes,
Right.
I suppose.
So I did pretty bad, right? Gonna say
you've
that.
got.
But instead
you've
of
got
giving the bonus
1.5.
question, to me, why don't we give it to the audience and see if they can come up with the answer?
So you don't want the extra point? You don't
No,
want to make it
because
2.5.
I think if I had 4 and I needed the extra point,
You
I
would
think
go
that's
for it.
fair enough. But I think we should just give it to the audience this week because
Okay.
I've been shameful. I've been absolutely disgusting.
That's okay.
And-
We have odd weeks.
Yeah.
Well, for the audience, if you want to listen in on this quote, you won't get any hints. It's mainly about guessing the character rather than the game itself. So if you get the answer, please post it on our Twitter. Chris will give out the URL at the end in the conclusion.
Comment anywhere. YouTube, under our YouTube.
Comment
under
any platform
anywhere.
we're on.
Anywhere.
Send us mail.
Yeah, write me a letter.
Go to Chris's house.
Write me a
and
letter.
take a ride with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Meet up with him, and go to Chris's house. Yeah.
Okay.
Little.
Okay.
Here's the bonus question. Kept you waiting, huh?
I would never have guessed that either. See, I wouldn't have guessed. I don't even know what that is.
Oh,
That's going to be a hard one for the audience. Sorry. If anybody guessed that, well done.
I mean,
But-
I will I was going to say I would personally give you this, but I have nothing to give. £2. I don't know.
Shout out on the podcast, I guess.
I mean,
we give you a shout out on the
we can
podcast.
give you something. Depends what it is. Who knows?
Yeah,
But
interesting.
if you get the answer, please post it on any of our social medias, as Chris would
Social media. So,
say.
I mean, that concludes our
Trivia
podcast. Yeah, Trivia Round
podcast.
podcast. I'll be a Trivia and podcast.
Yep.
So yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. This has been a juicy week with
A juicy week.
A juicy week with games that we have seen. If you want to support us on our Patreon page, you can do so. We are Patreon/Game Junkies, and like Jack said, you can follow us on the social medias. On
But
Twitter,
Chris,
Game Junkies OG.
don't we have a plan to release some content?
So we plan on the Game Junkies one. For the exclusive ones, we plan on doing a deep dive of a game, which we are not going to say yet, because I think we should keep it a surprise, right?
Exactly.
Just you got to bake them in, right? You got to bake them in.
You got to bake them in. That's how you want
you
to
you got to
get
bake them
people
in.
to support us on Patreon.
We'll cut this out because this is awkward now.
Yeah.
This is awkward now.
Sure.
We're going to be doing a lot more stuff like that on our Patreon. We're going to, hopefully we'll be able to set up some possible live streams, some gameplays. We can do everything games related, maybe some vlogs. But yeah, we're going to start trying to add more content onto there, so it gives you a purpose to actually, support us.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. And like I said, we can follow us on Twitter at GameJunkiesOG, and get in touch with us. And hopefully, you guess what game quote that was, because I have no idea. So I'm looking forward to knowing
If
what
they
it
get
was.
it, they're more of a game junkie than you are, Chris. What's
So,
going on?
Yeah, until next week.
Until next week.